be satisfied. Blame the divine. Eventually they'll find the time. And what if I believe you? Or what if I believe you? What if I go on, give it your all tonight? You can say anything you like. I'm not your savior, so far away. Blinded by anger, you forgot who to blame. I'll never be your lighthouse in the dust. If I had my way, I'd guide you to the rocks. Go on, give it your all tonight. You can say anything you like. You can say anything you like. Go and give it your all. You can say anything you
Hello, welcome to another get my tongue out here. Get another show of Under the Ring. I am joined by Ron. You want to say hello?
Hey.
Hello. We've got a lot to talk about, so we're going to try and go through this in as much as we can do, really. We're going to talk about Gallows and Anderson signing for Impact and their podcast episode. Chris Jericho's new gimmick, if you want to call it. I guess you want to call it that. Slamaiversary, we go through the results of that and our predictions for tonight's Extreme Rules. So yeah, start off with Gallows and Anderson because they had a lot to go through. They had their huge podcast episode, didn't they?
It felt like a really tactical move from Impact, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah.
It felt like, right, what can we do? Everybody knows these guys are coming, but let's do something really really extreme and let them just go out there and air whatever, just to get the interest peaked, so they got more viewers, because apparently the Slamaiversary viewing figures were really high.
Okay. I haven't seen any of the figures, I've just seen the results and what's happened, so I know that it's like when they announced they were coming, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, we knew that one was coming. But then they're doing like the whole we hate everybody or we hate a certain person, so
yeah. Well, I mean, it probably goes to show. Well, obviously we saw the changes, the creative changes in the WWE on Raw with Heyman being removed as sort of head writer, executive producer.
Yeah.
And if you imagine sort of Gallows and Anderson, what they said effectively was that they believed that he was the reason why they got fired, and also that he was very two-faced in they would pitch ideas to him and then it would go nowhere.
That's weird though. Do you think like they're such a good tag team? I mean, obviously they've had a massive run in New Japan, and I mean, I think Don, one of them was in Impact before, wasn't he? In Aces and Eights.
Both of them were.
Oh, both of them were.
Both
Okay.
of them were in Aces and Eights. I think the interesting thing is as well, actually, just to segue a little bit, is did you see the EC3 video that he sort of published, and then his interview? He basically turned around and said, in the same sort of way, he said that he gave up pitching to creative in WWE when he saw, in his view, the most creative person in wrestling at the moment, Bray Wyatt. Work really hard with the Fiend, and for them to just have him squashed in Saudi Arabia by Goldberg. I
think with that one it was just like Goldberg is a bigger name for let's be real, Saudi Arabia is not pandering to the Saudi people, it's just going for the prince, isn't it, really?
It's funny though.
Goldberg might have a better name brand than say Bray Wyatt, So he probably goes, "Who's this Bray Wyatt? Oh, well, Goldberg, I know him," and that's probably what happened.
Well, did you hear that the Saudi people were asking for deceased wrestlers to turn up?
Oh yeah, I heard about that one. It was like Yokozuna, the Ultimate Warrior. They wanted Takey, Savage as well. Was it the Ultimate Warrior or was it Savage?
I don't know. It might have been one or the other, but it was a bit.
I know Yokozuna because they had tried to get someone that was a bigger person in to be Yokozuna.
It's a funny thing when you work with the Middle East in general, because controlled media and such. What they see is sort of white hot 80s style. I mean, I'll give you an example. A friend of mine, he did a tour in India, and certain areas of India, although India is quite socially available in terms of, if you like, the internet and such, because you're seeing it everywhere. But on a whole, if you do a show in India, it's white hot. It's like 80s. It's like 80s sort of mentality when it comes to face and heel. Everybody's really, really ridiculously into it. If you saw that when TNA went out there and did with Jarrett, they did a few shows out there. You saw the level of reaction from the crowd, which is mental. So WWE, I guess, in to their credit, wanted to capitalize on that, so they gave them the gimmicks that they wanted.
We'll go back to Gallows and Anderson for a second because it's a bit of a segue off them. But yeah, no, they were basically just going like, we don't like this person. It can't be named, but I just like, and don't want to get some comments or an email later saying you slagged him off. Here's a lawsuit.
Well, okay. So if we put it this way. On their podcast, they specifically named Paul Heyman to say that
thanks, I'm going to get sued.
but on their podcast, they specified it.
Yeah, they said we hate Paul Heyman because he's a lying two-face on his gun.
And whether that's true or not, we don't know. We have no evidence of that. It's just what they've stated.
Yeah.
Legal.
Thank you. My ass is now clean.
But yeah, it is. But I mean, I think the shoot was. I think it was the fire was stoked by the fact that Impact wanted them to create as much media buzz as possible. So when you automatically, when someone leaves and the no complete clause is just about up or is up, you start to see them air what their actual views are. I mean, in recent times. You see more people being more conservative in the way they do that because for fear of being, if you like,
blackballed sort of thing, really.
Yeah, completely. Or sued.
Basically.
For a better word, because if the information's done incorrectly, then effectively it is, could be construed as slander or slanders. So. It's an interesting situation.
I think, like, with obviously Gallows and Anderson's going to become like the new Chris Jericho Talkers podcast for those who are not on the AEW roster. You think? Right?
Yeah,
so
sure.
That's they're going to have probably EC3 on in the next few weeks, and maybe Eric Young as well, and I can't make it. Heath Slater as well. There we go. Heath Slater, just going off on them basically. So that'd be cool to listen to again.
I think Heath will be a bit more conservative because he got to do that one-shot bit on Raw the other week with Drew McIntyre. I think he'll be a bit more. I
think Eric Rowan's probably maybe an EC3 one would definitely be a good one to listen to because he got the Raw end of the stick. Intended. He got the Raw end of that one, I think.
I'll tell you what. Actually, we'll get onto it later. I'll save what I was going to say. But when we go through the Extreme Rules thing.
Okay, that's good. Okay. We're going to move over to the Chris Jericho has a new gimmick apparently. I think that's what I got my notes so far. Which is the Demo God. I think he called it. I was like, what? I hadn't seen anything of it. I just saw he brought out new t-shirts saying Demo God, and everyone was talking about obviously the demo ratings for their age group and all that market. Cody tweeting, if you ever see me talking about the ratings, you can delete my account. I was like, yeah, okay. I think I should put my new slogan if I ever get something as like if this ever happens to me, then delete my life. Sort of.
It's funny though, isn't it? Every episode we've spoken about it.
Yeah, it's like, oh god, I shouldn't.
It's clever, isn't it? He's got it talking, hasn't it?
Yeah.
You know. It's
I don't tend to talk about the ratings personally. I just think like it's like, I think someone from Talk said you can support both brands. You can be like a WWE fan, you can be an AEW fan, you can be an Impact fan, you can be a New Japan. It's all wrestling, really.
I mean, look at us. We're talking about everything.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. I think probably between the lot of us, you know, we'd be really on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think did you see the what happened to him with the orange juice? Really, I think. That was very
WWE. It was very Attitude Era.
Can I just say, RT sold out like an absolute legend.
Yeah,
I think it was Ortiz. It was just like he just like. Yeah, we know orange juice is not slippery, we get it, but still, like, it just went, he'd slip, and every time he'd get up, he'd slip again, and I was like, okay, yeah, we get it, I understand, but I thought it was funny.
And then, it was funny, even Jericho shouting at him,
yeah.
Get up, you idiot. It's like, but the thing is, Ortiz is just, facially, you know, he sells really well on whatever he does.
Yeah.
He's one of those that you know, he's got it. You know, he's always in anything that he does. It is always good. Yeah.
Oh, that was the AEW review. Basically, Jericho got squished by oranges. There we go.
Actually, saying that as well, the surprise on the Brian Cage tap-in.
Yeah.
That got me. I mean, I understand from a technical perspective, because you're going to get a Taz coming on this week and saying, look, it's better to fight another day. I saw a potential injury there, so I made a call. He probably would have carried on. Blah, 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 blah. And the irony is, though, on the AEW website, in the card, they advertised it as both titles on the line.
Ah, okay. I didn't
but yeah, it didn't go that way.
No, he tapped him. I'll be honest with you, it looks like he's still. You could build like some sort of rift between the two now, saying like, you made me tap, you throw in the towel. So if he wants to go off on his own one, he can do it, and there's no like, you know, he wants to put a proper single one, he can do it if he wanted to.
I think they did a good job of not ruining his credibility by emphasizing how long he was out with the muscle injury for.
Yeah.
His pectoral there's tear and such, and his I think it was rotator cuff injury or something. I can't remember for sure, but I know it left him out for a while.
Yeah.
So you know they can work that angle. It's just it's difficult really, because if you want to build a credible challenge to Moxley, I was hoping for a false finish. If I'm honest with you, I was hoping for a DQ finish, because at least, you know, I guess this is interesting in one way, because
isn't it in a DQ way, but he never actually tapped, did he?
No,
he just has through in the towel, which is it's a bit.
I don't really know. To be honest with you, we'll have to see how that plays off.
Yeah, it's I like the idea because it keeps him looking like a beast who never actually lost, really. Even though it's probably understanding somewhere that he got thrown out, so.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. Switching over to back to Impact, because they seem to be the talk of the town. Slamaiversary, I'll let you discuss it because you've actually seen it. I have just seen little bits, so I'll let you go on about that.
So, Rascals had an open challenge to any tag team out there. Everybody was expecting it to be Gallows and Anderson, but it turned out to be the Machine Guns.
Can I just stop you there for a second? That's when I saw that. I woke up this morning and went, holy shit, Machine Guns still doing that. That was my favourite tag team in TNA, just straight out. I was like,
it's interesting because Shelley was retired in 2018, and then I think, as far as I can see, Saban's been working as a
background.
producer for Impact for a while now, and they both came in there. It was a great match. It was a 3.5, 4-star match for sure. Lots of decent spots, you know, and it was nice to see the guns go over and not damage the Rascals either, because it was that much of a quality match.
Okay.
You know, and they did a good little. It was just a really good match. As far as an opening match goes on a card, you can't really get much better than that, because it set the tone for the entire night. And then we moved on to Dreamer and Moose.
Was that a second match on, was it?
Yeah,
Okay.
for the TNA title. That was good.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, because I've never been sold on Moose, because he shows moments of brilliance, but he still looks, to me, he looks a bit haphazard in the ring. But him and Dreamer had really good chemistry, and it worked really well. And Dreamer did his usual sort of hardcore spots, taking
I think
like
it was,
contacts.
they had old school rules or something as a stipulation.
Yeah, that was right.
Yeah.
Old school rules was basically hardcore.
Basically, yeah.
But it was good, and it was nice to see. Moose go over clean, without damaging Dreamer. It was a good match. I would say it was probably about a 3, maybe rather than a 3.5 to a 4.
Okay.
But it was good. You know, and then we move on to the Gauntlet #1 contenders match for the knockouts.
Yeah,
it was crap.
It looks like you just throwing everyone together and going, look, we have a women's division. And it's like, okay. I didn't actually watch it, just seen little bits of it, and I'm just saying, I'm just reading through the transcripts now, and it's just like, Tyra Steele started and Kylie Ray started the match, and it was like every 2 minutes and come in. I was like, oh, okay.
You had Taya Bravo and you had Rosemary Bravo through, which was a joke. To be fair.
And you know what? Hang on, who are they missing? I'm looking at the picture. They're missing someone from the women's division. Rosemary, I think, was it? Oh, she was in it.
Yeah, she was in it. She was in it because basically they had this little thing, vignette partway through the beginning of the show, Taya saying to Bravo that you must make sure I win the match, and then Rosemary saying to Bravo, you must make sure. So he came up dressed up as either partway through. He
comedy.
Actually, Bravo eliminated Havoc, which was like, what?
Oh god!
And it was just like, what? The entire thing was. I mean, don't get me wrong. There was elements of decent stuff in there. I mean, you saw Madison Rain have a good little move, show a bit of moveset in there. You got to see how good Kylie Ray actually is.
Good to see it back though, really, Madison. Even if it's just for one match, it's good to see it back.
You know, and to be fair, it finished up with Kylie Ray winning, which was spot on.
Yeah.
To be fair, after this, we had a little spot with Heath Slater jumping the guardrail.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I did a nice little talking spot about you know where he's been, what he's doing, and Rohit Raju took exception to it. He tried to talk. Basically, he tried to talk his way into the spot main event. Rohit had a little bit.
Wasn't there a technical hiccup or something? Because I think they used...
Yeah, basically. The mic, when they were talking, it was coming through the PA rather than direct sound, so you couldn't really hear it all that well.
As a person who did sound engineering, come on! Like, come on,
basically, a bit of back and forth with Rohit, and then he finished him off with it was a nice neckbreaker variation out of the corner. Actually, it was.
So they actually had a little bit of a scuffle then, really.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was,
and then he went backstage to go and give Rhino a hello.
We went backstage, and then later on in the show, he has a little bit of a talk with Rhino, and Rhino's like, "Hey," and then D'Amore shuts him down and says, "Look, get out. This is social distancing, etc." Then Rhino said, "Look, be there on Impact. We'll sort something out." And then we moved on to Willie Mack and Chris Bay. This surprised me. This was a really, really good match. Don't get me wrong.
It was because it's like Willie Mack is a basically an X Division. It's like the Keith Lee version of Impact, isn't it? Really?
Yeah,
he's a good guy that can move.
He's ridiculous in what he can do. I mean, he makes Keith Lee look lightweight. he's ridiculous. Him and Chris Bay's incredibly talented. It was a really good match. 4 stars for sure. Pushing on 4.5. Again, I liked the fact that Chris Bay won. It was sort of used the referee to distract him whilst he was going up for the 6-star, and and then he came in and got the win. It was good. It was really good. Then we moved on to the North versus Shamrock and Callahan. I hated it.
Yeah, it didn't. A person when I saw that, I went, "What? Can Shamrock still going?"
Don't get me wrong, right? Shamrock did really well. The chemistry was there, but from an excitement perspective, I just thought it was garbage.
It does.
I'll be, but I mean, the reviews I've read online and what other people have thought is they've said it's a decent match, and I guess yeah, for the start of the show, but it was maybe a 2.5 star for me. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's an interesting point where like Shamrock tries to do an over the top dive and he misses, but it intentionally misses, but it's some nice points. I mean, there was a point in there where there's a double ankle lock with Shamrock on one.
I saw that there was like double ankle lock and they were like trying to smack each other while they were both in an ankle lock.
It's just elements of that miss-sell from Shamrock.
He wasn't doing an injury or something, if I remember. I heard right.
I mean, ultimately the North won, and effectively the long and short of it is that the North won, and then they because Shamrock hit Callahan inadvertently. At the end, so that's setting up Callahan and Shamrock somewhere down the line.
Probably at Bounty Glory, if I'm being honest. Probably somewhere down the line.
The Machine Guns came down afterwards and set up a match for Machine Guns versus the North on Impact.
Is that a title match?
Yeah.
Oh, let's put that. That'd be a match I'd like to see. And they shouldn't put that as a freaking throwaway match. They should put that on.
I think they're really trying to load up the Impact to try and to capitalise on the ratings as much as possible.
Yeah. Trying to get people in.
So
they're gonna have Heath Slater on them next week, probably mouthing off or something. So that might bring the ratings in.
Next match was Grace versus Perazzo, and that's the match of the night by far.
Yeah, I have heard that. I was like, I will be honest. It was technical versus power, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, for sure. But it was phenomenal in every sense of the word. It was phenomenal. And the finish was great. The double sort of armbar, almost rings of Saturn like finish from Perazzo. It was. She had a Fujiwara on one point and then twisted around to have the other one, pull the other one back, and it was just really well done. And to be honest with you, it didn't make Grace look bad.
Because
it really didn't.
I'm being honest, I never, and I know this is going to sound really bad now, but I never saw Grace as a champion when I first, and was like, okay, yeah, maybe have a small run with it, but nothing like. I think Perazzo has the look of a champion sort of thing, and that's not Grace, not intentionally, but I think she was probably giving it because like, who else really? If I'm being honest.
At the time it
was nobody else, because like Taya was obviously locking herself in, and she couldn't, and she was holding the men's as well, so we had nobody else there. So
and they've got this stupid little thing with Taya and Rosemary, which I thought, and Bravo, which I thought was funny initially, and now I'm thinking that's how you ruin the credibility of your best women's wrestlers. It wasn't good.
I think that Perazzo has that sort of cocky I'm the greatest wrestler heel sort of gimmick on it. So she can run with that for a while, I think.
And she had a lot of heat leaving the WWE in the way she came in here, and she really conducted herself. She carried that over, and it's great. So we move on to the main event, which was Ace Austin versus Trey versus Eddie Edwards versus the Mystery, which turned out to be Rich Swann.
What we thought was Rich Swann. and then they came back and it was Eric Young, wasn't it?
Yeah. So they had Rich Swann and Eric Young, so it turned into a 5-way. It was a really decent match. Got to see Eric Young at his
most
psychotic best. To be fair, I'll tell you what though, Ace Austin and Trey, Ace Austin in particular, I would have been happy for him to take the belt after that performance.
Probably will. I think didn't I say that it was like I think I said something like that. He's like Ace Austin is. I something there, but I just think he needs a good.
I think it's like Trey as well. Trey's got a lot of talent, but he hasn't got the charisma of Austin. Austin feels like a top heel, whereas Trey, from a face perspective, he's a good little blue chipper, but he's the type of person you elevate to the main event when you haven't got anybody else because he's got the ability. But he hasn't got anything more about him yet. He needs to be built as a character.
I think it could be something like a Bret Hart sort of situation. For what you're describing now, it's like he's got the skills there, but he's got no charisma. And then Ace Austin's got all the charisma.
If you were to sort of align him with a speaker, a good speaker, like I would have liked to have seen him align with Don Callis. That was another good thing. It was Ace to have Don Callis on commentary with Josh Matthews. Meant the commentary was on point. It was good. But yeah, Eddie Edwards went over and won. It was really good. It was a decent main event.
Did I call that?
I think you did.
Yeah.
I think you did. You did call that.
I was like, what the hell's up with me today?
You're doing
I'm
well.
Doing that again. I'm not. I think it's 2-1 now. Actually, if I'm keeping track.
Yeah.
I think we have a little scoreboard on the actual stream itself. Actually, saying so. I will change that later to 2-1.
So
not a competition, but yeah. Not a competition.
So effectively, Eddie won the match. During the match, though, Rich Swann he did a quick reversal on Young when he went for the pile driver and eliminated Young. Young then went back and damaged him. Went to his injured ankle and leg and got a chair and smashed him up. So ultimately, you're going to see Rich Swann, Eric Young as the feud going forward there.
I could take that.
It was
good.
Yeah. And then obviously the end of the match when
what happened, because I don't like the way
so
you described it to me.
Madman Fulton was with Ace Austin. So
right.
ultimately Fulton comes in and starts working over Eddie, and then Eddie and Austin start working on Fulton, and then Gallows and Anderson come out and make the save. Ultimately seemingly aligning themselves with Eddie. Eddie Edwards, which doesn't make sense to me, but they might explain it. And then just as you get your hero moment and everybody's holding and celebrating, then you get an EC3 cut. Yeah. With EC3 on there, and sets up nicely for probably EC3 Edwards feud going in on the title. But overall, it was a really, really solid show. It was every match bar the knockouts, sort of battle royal and
actually
the gauntlet match. And to be fair, in actual fact, I probably undersold the Shamrock match. It was probably about a 3, but every match was good. As I say, the highlights was definitely Jordan Grace and Diana Perazzo.
I need to go and watch that match now. When you said that, I was like, I might go and watch that match actually.
Again, Dreamer and Moose was good. Some solid matches, and Machine Guns and the Rascals was great. And Kylie Ray showed how much ability she's got. So that'll be interesting. Kylie Ray Perazzo going forward. Hopefully, it's not just straight into using the #1 contendership match on Impact. Hopefully, they they build on that.
Yeah, they built on that because you can do like sort of happy-go-lucky kind of what she was doing in basically everywhere else versus this cocky, bigger than thou, the authority, but kind of like she's better than this scum sort of thing. So yeah, it could do that kind of angle.
And that's it. But that was probably the best showing of Impact in a long while. But they've invested a bit into it, haven't they?
Yeah, they haven't just thrown it all together. They've just been like.
And it's been very clever. I mean, as sort of Wrestle Talk, I think it was always, or What Culture alluded to, they've kind of hit the reset button.
Yeah. I
mean, they lost Elgin, Ryan, and
that's basically quite a lot of them.
Blanchard.
Yeah, they lost quite a lot of them in a massive swoop. So it's like, okay, we need to start building from the ground up, and they've got like at least two. Maybe also, four or five feuds they can go with, so it's good.
Completely. So before we go on to the next piece, just a quick segue.
Go for it.
I was reading some articles on Angelico, someone basically, and Jack Evans. Someone messaged Jack Evans saying you should move to TNA because AEW aren't using him. And because he's been off air for about 3 to 4 months.
Okay.
And he just basically says, no way, Tony Khan's an amazing guy. They're still paying me even.
Yeah.
Well, he says they're still paying me even though I can't travel due to travel restrictions on COVID.
Yeah. Isn't Pat the same thing? Obviously, he can't travel now. I think it was someone was saying like, they're still.
I think he's in Newcastle though, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he's not coming out of the UK,
No.
And I don't imagine they're going to give.
No.
He had visa issues before anyway.
Yeah, I don't think like even if this whole thing was just to die off tomorrow sort of thing, he wouldn't come back for at least a few months just to let the thing properly settle.
I think it's really clever because it gives him a chance. It's kind of helped him in one respect because it gives him a chance to maybe do something different with Pac. He doesn't need to automatically realign himself back with the Lucha Brothers. There's sort of that.
And also, it's kind of like it's given the Lucha Brothers some time to breathe because it would have been like, oh yeah, he's with Pac, and they can go, no, they're on their own now.
It kind of annoys me because I like the Lucha Brothers, but I don't like them as a tag team. I like them as individuals. I think they're both title individuals, and they could be used. They think they're better individually than they are as a team.
Yeah.
But it's horses for courses. You can't. You have to. I guess it's about balancing the roster.
Yeah. If you put,
otherwise,
if you think like, I mean, the tag team division there is perfect. It's fine at the moment. It's got the right amount of people in there. If you lost one, it would be like, okay, now you'd need to find someone else, and then you're gonna have thrown teams together who are not actually really good.
To be honest with you. They would benefit from having a second show, just as the roster sort of swells.
I think they do. They've got Dark, which is kind of.
Yeah, I mean, Dark is alright. Don't get me wrong, and you get that hour show, but I mean, like an actual TV show, something that means a bit more. Dark is good, and I enjoy Dark. I watch Dark most weeks, but I think. And Dark's a good way to introduce the masses to the product and what's on the roster.
Yeah, and also lesser known ones who might not be as WWE's coming from. I think they will, but not now. It's still too early. It's only been a year, I think, is it? About a year?
Yeah.
So it's like, really, if you
we're still in its infancy, isn't it?
Yeah, I think give it another, maybe 2 or 3 years. And then start thinking about moving Dark over to a main show, and then having a third show being on Unity.
I mean, to be honest, I'd leave Dark where it is. I would look at something different, maybe. But the difficulty is what you don't want to do is like what WWE did with the cruiserweights on 205 Live, and then the women's division at one point. You don't want to take it away from the main roster because you don't want to lose the attention that people have for the main roster on those people.
What you can do is like you can build up the main roster and then have people who are on Dark show up on the main roster and have people who are not. So, like say Pillman, because he's not exactly known to the outside audience. You can have him build him up on the Dark's roster, and then slowly introduce him as a threat of sorts or whatever as on the main roster. So,
but it'd still be interesting to see what happens with Pillman because he's still under contract with MLW, even though they announced him at AEW.
we'll have to see what happens. Yeah.
I bet MLW legals all over it.
Oh god, yeah. There's no difference. They'll be like, oh god. Speaking of legal, we can go to Extreme Rules now. We can do the predictions for that if you want.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, I'm gonna have to get the result. I'm gonna have to get the card up now.
But just before we go through that,
go for it.
Did you see the interesting thing that they've moved Jeff Hardy, Sheamus to next week's bar fight to next week's SmackDown?
Oh no, I didn't.
Basically, they've done it. They've done it because the ratings for SmackDown have nosedived. So they've done it as a ratings piece.
Oh, have they?
Mm.
That's a. I mean, I never liked the idea anyway. I think we said that before. It's never. We never liked it. So maybe moving it to SmackDown might not be a bad idea. Because if they do it and nobody watches, then they can't really say, well, it was.
And the thing is, that a pay-per-view, it doesn't necessarily have to be the PG-13 product. It's a little bit more risque.
Yeah.
So it means it could easily cross the line. With uses.
I think they could have done it. It would have worked out better. I think really you could have put the. Let me see now. Maybe the United States champion in there, and then move those around, because that would be like you said, you can push the boundary on pay-per-view. And then if they got offended by that, then they say, well, it was me.
And that's the other interesting thing as well about SmackDown. Did you notice the video packages where they were showing the Bray Wyatt stuff with they were showing. Did you notice who wasn't in there?
Oh I heard about that. They didn't add.
Mr. Brody Lee was.
You know what the funny thing was? I think he was going to be.
Harper, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Luke Harper. He was going to be at Wales Comic Con actually. I think it was this year, and they obviously because they've changed everything around because of everything. So he was going to be there. He was going to be in Telford.
I'm not sure then. Did Harper? Did Rowan actually re-sign with the WWE then?
I guess so. I think he did.
I'm not sure if he has, but then that would say to you he has, and he's going to turn up. He's going to turn up in the
he might
the fight.
Yeah, I think they might have. If he has left, I think he probably left on good terms and has not done anything of note so far. While Brody Lee has gone out of his way to make fun of Vince McMahon, so that's probably why they've. You know what? They probably took him off because he's taking a piss out of us. While Rowan hasn't really done anything that's too offensive.
And the thing is, Rowan's not on active TV anywhere, so you don't give a nod to the opposition by showing them.
Basically. So I understand. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think he will turn up. Really, I think this is just going to be, from what I'm gathering, that someone's going to turn heel, basically. Someone. Let's go through the list and we'll knock off the ones. I'll go back to front. I'll go tables match for the SmackDown Tag Teams Championship. So we've got the New Day versus Cesaro and Nakamura.
I'd love to see Nakamura and Cesaro win, but they've had the upper hand over the last couple of weeks, so I can't see it going that way.
So you're thinking New Day then?
New Day. Yeah, I think it will be. I think it'll be one of the match of the nights. Just hopefully they're given the allotted time to go out there and do it.
Yeah.
If they're not spot restricted, then you're probably going to see the best match of the night.
Yeah, I don't know where I'm falling this one because I haven't really watched SmackDown that much, but I probably think I might have to agree with you to go with the New Day because of how well they can sell stuff. Really, Cesaro and Nakamura just seems like they've been thrown together and there's no cohesion there. So I'll probably go with New Day on that one. I don't know why I'm writing. I was gonna say, why am I writing everything about results? It's gonna be it's gonna be recorded and it's gonna be like streamed everywhere, so I can come back and check it later. Let me check my thing now. Where are I? Okay, we've got the United States Championship, Apollo Crews versus NPV. Or
MVP.
MVP, yeah, sorry. What thoughts?
I think it's too early for Cruz to win the title back.
Wait,
I
did he
think
lose
you're
it?
going to see. Oh no, he hasn't actually lost it, has he?
That's right. He was given an MVP, crowned himself as
Yeah,
as the
I
new.
think. I think MVP is going to win it legit.
Okay.
Um,
Don't
he
know.
doesn't.
Because if I remember rightly, it was, Apollo Crews was on Paul Heyman's "I want this guy to do well" sort of list, wasn't he?
Mm.
Like, and obviously he's gone, so yeah.
But then again, at the same time, he's a Triple H guy, isn't he? He bought him in. He bought Cruz in. He gave Cruz his finisher.
Yeah.
It was Uha Nation, wasn't he? He's wrestled a lot over here. But yeah.
I want to say Apollo, just give him a nice little run with it.
It would be good. It'd be good if they kept the momentum
I think
over.
they could probably put him on the new belt on him, and then just say, look, you can have a run, because MVP is probably gonna be. I mean, he's not a spring chicken. Let's be real. He's a bit honest. He's still got a good run, but he's not as young as he's been.
Unless what's going to happen is this: Cruz wins. And then it turns out, then it ends up being Lashley Cruz on Raw or something, and Lashley goes over and wins it. Because I think all this stuff is it's great. All this stuff is just building Lashley up as a monster again. You see how he's been instrumental in everything. So without putting him straight back into the main event picture, do they stick him on the IC belt again? And just keep him bubbling away until
I think they probably put the you might what you've just said might actually work. I think really more than MVP to win, unless they want to do unless they want to do some split between maybe MVP just falls over and Lashley wins a new one without even trying, but then that would kind of degrade Lashley's win really. I think Cruz might win.
Yeah. Actually, saying that, I'm changing. I think Cruz is going to win.
I changed it. Okay, the swamp fight, Bray Wyatt versus Braun Strowman.
I don't know. I can't see Wyatt winning, if I'm honest with you.
No.
I think they're trying to build Strowman because he's lost a lot of credibility, even with holding the belt. He just doesn't feel like the monster that he was. But then I kind of feel like it's going to build to something else.
What belt has he got? What belt has he actually got?
Is he got the WWE or the Universal? It'll be the WWE when
he SmackDown brand did one, yeah. Oh yeah. You know that's how bad it is. Like I completely forgot what belt he has.
This is the point. It's like McIntyre. You understand as the brand leader, as the champion, but It's the belts. The belts, aside from the women's belts, mean nothing.
Yeah, it's really
it's
like
garbage.
I mean, like, I'm trying to think, like, what can they actually do afterwards? Like, what can they do in terms of like after the fact? Would it be a case of they're just going to go, Bray wins, or no, let's say Braun wins now? Okay, then who's the next person on the list? Then after that, well, who else can they do? So it's
I saw at some point Braun challenging a McIntyre to a title versus title match at WrestleMania.
Ooh, that would that sounds like a SummerSlam match. Really, I'd like to see that. Maybe Survivor Series if he holds it on that long. Yeah,
maybe.
Because you can actually call it like, okay, it's a title versus title, and it means something in the sense of like, they're both on different brands and the whole brand thing. So yeah, I could work that. I could see that. But I still think Braun's gonna win. Being honest.
Yeah, I can't see. I can't see because it's kind of backwards for them to have gone what they did with Bray anyway.
Yeah.
So unless they're planning to build Bray into the new Undertaker again and go down that route, who knows?
Hopefully.
They had the chance.
They had a chance and they messed it. Let's be real.
They just screwed up.
Yeah. The next one is the SmackDown Women's Champion. We've got Bayley versus Nikki Cross.
Bayley's gonna win.
Yeah. I feel sorry for Nikki Cross because she's pretty good. I like it, like the whole crazy sort of thing. It's very good, but then it's like she's not gonna win. It's just it's annoying.
This entire thing is a build up to Sasha versus Bailey. So
I'll be honest with you, I can see it, but I don't think they're gonna pull the trigger on it. I can see it happening, but I don't think they're gonna pull the trigger on it because it's.
I can see this happening one of two ways. Either Bailey loses and Sasha wins,
right?
In which case you've got a role reversal.
Yeah.
And then they start to fall apart, and then they end up fighting, or they both win.
That's going to take like a power dance to be like, well, look, we're the greatest thing ever. We've got all the belts.
But then basically when they then drop the tag belts somewhere down the line, and that's when the insurrection starts, and then it builds to a title versus title match.
They could do a Survivor Series because they're on both the same brands.
But to be honest with you, I would let it roll longer than that.
Right.
I would let it roll. I'd try and build it. If it is me being old school with my booking, I would try and build it to WrestleMania.
That's too far, really. You have to build it for like a whole year, and you have to think that WWE aren't really that foresight, are they?
It doesn't. It's not. They want the quick payoff.
Yeah,
so,
they might even do it to like something like, if they were to do it now, they'd probably want it to be done by Survivor Series. Or if they're really pushing it and really play it, they could probably do it till, say, Survivor Series or something. I don't know. I can't see Nikki Cross winning anyway. I think Bayley's going to hold it for quite a while.
Yeah, for sure.
I think until at least fans get back, if I'm being honest, because the second they get back, that's it. She's going to lose all credibility because everyone's going to be going, "Hey Bayley, like."
Is Alexa Bliss injured?
I don't know, but she has been mouthing off on Instagram or Twitter or something about some. I read something somewhere that she's like she wasn't happy about it. Was there, but she wasn't actually wrestling.
Yeah, but she wasn't in the match, so
no,
it felt
it's
weird.
just like I don't know if she's injured. Maybe they're just trying to save her, so she doesn't get injured.
Weird bit of writing.
Yeah, weird. What
we got next then?
We've got the Raw Women's Champion, which is Asuka versus Sasha Banks.
Yeah, again, ties in. She'll either win or...
Yeah.
I kind of feel like I want Sasha to win, and I think Sasha. I kind of feel like Sasha will win.
Yeah.
But at the same, I don't know. WWE's weird because they've had Asuka win. They've shown no credibility to Asuka whatsoever through this entire thing, even though she's been fantastic.
Yeah, it's so hard because I want Asuka to win. To give her a bit more time.
I thought of Wandsworth. I thought of a Kairi Sane, turn on Asuka, and then build towards Asuka Sane, and then that alludes to Sane's exit from the company.
Yeah, I think that was one of the plans, was it, to have like
and then Nia Jackson's used the
and then Nia Jax beat the creative. Nia Jax beat the creative. Just wanted to get her out fast. I don't know. And let me see now. Where did I think? Where did I put? I put Asuka to win this one, if I'm being honest. And then have like, Bayley can say, I keep winning belts, and you're the one that can't win belts. Sort of. Then have the insurrection started, but not make it a big deal. Drop it in like.
The issue is, do you keep them both? Do you keep them both as heel, even when it breaks, or which one would you turn face?
I would probably turn Sasha. I'd probably turn Sasha face. I think.
I think Bayley's fantastic as a heel.
Yeah.
I can't believe how good she is at it.
The thing is, and this is, I think she's even mentioned it herself, and it's like she works better as a heel when there's no audience there. Because it's, like I said, a second that it's probably happened before the whole lockdown thing is even though she was a heel, everyone was cheering for her. And it was like, now there's nobody to cheer for her, she can really let loose. And because she hasn't really done anything of like massively heel-ish. She's just been a champion that just says all the fans are crap. Like, there's not really anything that's massively makes the whole crowd go, what the WTF sort of thing you doing? Maybe if Sasha Banks starts being a bit more face, shall we say, and then Bayley kills basically Seth Rollins and just knocks her in the back or something or betrays her, then maybe you can do something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll see. I mean, I want Bayley to keep doing heel, but it's got to be up to she's got to have something substantial to make them go, whoa, she's a real bitch, basically.
Yeah.
And then the whole crowd will turn on her. That's what.
Okay.
That's my plan.
I can see that. I can see that. So I'm going Sasha. You're going Asuka.
Yeah. The next one is the Eye for an Eye match, which has got nothing to do with AEW. This is just pure WWE. There we go.
honestly,
Seth Rollins versus Rey Mysterio, for those who don't read.
I feel like there's a swerve coming. I feel like you can have a Dominic turn on Ray and join Seth. Yeah.
I can see where you're coming from. I don't know something's gonna happen, but I can't put my finger on it or say where it would come from.
But then again, actually, hang on a minute. Who's writing now? Oh my! It could be something ridiculous.
Yeah, I can't really see it. It's
all right. If I was to book it, I'd be booking Dominic Turn.
Right.
But
then you've got to figure out. You've got to have a match against Rey Mysterio and Dominic. Unless you really want to put Ray out for a while.
But the thing is, right? Ray wants Dominic to be ready in ring by October. This is what he's sort of mentioned, and this is when he thinks he'll be ready to actually compete.
Right.
So it almost feels like it can go one of two ways. Yeah. You're either gonna have Ray get absolutely decimated and out, and Dominic, or something will happen to Dominic during the match, and he'll be out.
What you could do though is an interesting thought. Is you could put Dominic out for a while of the match, let it all just be Seth beating the hell out of him, and then maybe when you've pinned him and he's out of the ring, you can maybe let Seth do this conversion thing and convert him over to the Seth side. This Messiah thing.
See, what would be really cool would be to have Dominic cost Mysterio the match, and then basically build it to a Mysterio Dominic match.
Yeah. It's whoever wins gets the mask or something or whatever.
Yeah, sort of a succession.
That's what he wanted to do, wasn't it? Is to give the mask over to Dominic. That's what he's made it public a few times, that he wants Dominic to be ready. Do you think he is ready?
No chance. He's only been wrestling for about 6-7 months.
Yeah,
he's had some good trainers, but and Ray, as I say, Ray reckons that he'd be ready by October to wrestle a professional match. But wrestling a professional match and wrestling a professional match well,
two different things.
It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I think, I said it before, is maybe, I don't know, maybe put him out for a few months and then put him in a PC.
I just don't think he's got a look.
No.
To me, he looks like Ricardo Rodriguez.
Ouch.
It's
I
won't be able to take him seriously.
No, I can't. He just seems doesn't.
He just seems too much like a fan, rather than he hasn't got a look. He hasn't got a physique.
Well, he's still pretty young. He just doesn't. He looks like he doesn't belong in a ring, basically. He looks like he's an accountant of some sorts. If I'm being honest, I don't know. I don't think. I don't think Dominic will be involved though.
Let me clarify this.
Okay.
Ricardo Rodriguez is amazing,
Okay.
and he's actually one of the best wrestlers you'll ever see. He's done. I've seen him do a few seminars and compete on the independents in the UK. He's incredible. But
In WWE.
In WWE, the way he looked as Del Rio's announcer,
Personal ring announcer.
yeah, he basically, that's what I kind of foresee Rey Mysterio's boy Dominic to look like, or a young out of shape Humberto Carrillo.
Okay, here's an interesting thought. Do you think like he'll become Seth Rollins' personal ring announcer?
Oh, that'd be amazing. Wouldn't it?
He does turn, but he doesn't wrestle. He just comes out as the Messiah's messenger of sorts.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
So
you think
we'll be both saying Seth?
So I'm saying Seth to win. Ray to be pulled off, and maybe Dominic to join the Messiah.
Yeah.
But not as a ring announcer, just something else, obviously. But some sort of mouthpiece, and then we'll see what it looks. And if it...
Quick segue back into AEW from this week.
Go for it.
I thought it was a great finish in that tag match with FTR when they took Phoenix's mask off. That was so clever.
I didn't see that.
So clever how they pulled that finish, and you saw you saw Pentagon like jump into the outside of the ring to try, and you could just about see the bald head of Phoenix. Yeah, you're just watching. That was so cleverly done.
Okay.
But
yeah.
Moving
on. I will say about that same thing as the FTR beer pouring thing on Kenny's head was really good. I have to give credit to that because it showed. Because they didn't Kenny beat up turn heel or something, or is in the process of it?
Oh, he went overboard in the match against Express. But yeah, it looks like it's just a whole sobriety thing because he's 100% clean.
Okay.
He doesn't drink at all. He's like CM Punk in that clean.
Doesn't do drugs.
He doesn't drink. No.
Oh, fair enough then.
And that's where all that aggression came from with the beer initially.
Yeah. Okay. I get. They probably knew that, and they probably planned that to be just water, basically. We'll go back. We'll get the last one on the match, and then we'll. Which is the WWE Championship. So Drew McIntyre versus Dolph Ziggler.
Well, this is interesting because there's a lot of like the Rock's come out saying want Ziggler to win the belt, and there's a lot of support for Ziggler in the media. Overall, I'd love to see Ziggler win it. I mean, as much as I love Drew McIntyre, I just feel like Ziggler is a top guy that never got it.
Yeah.
He's
if you want to do something
again, he is sure. Again, he is sure.
Like that. If you want to do something like that, give him a big pay-per-view to do it, not like a one that's got no audience in it.
Yeah,
it's going to be Drew that wins this. I think, if I'm being honest, and maybe have
unless it
match.
ends up being Drew getting DQ'd, that could happen. Something happens, and it's disqualified, and then build up to another match. But the thing is, like, Ziggler works so hard.
He does.
And the WWE build him up to break him every time.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like it's kind of conclusive. Like, now he'll get so far, and then they'll just. There we go. Back to a decent level, I kind of hopeful. Yeah, okay, we're back on the level now.
Okay.
Ish. I hope it stays still. Yeah, it stays still.
So what I was saying basically about Ziggler is, it's like I was watching Ride Along. I remember a while back, and the Miz turned around and said that the greatest reaction he ever saw was when Ziggler won the title.
Yeah,
the crowd at that point. I remember that as well. It was mental, absolutely mental. And but you say, Ziggler winning the belt now.
No, yeah, it doesn't it doesn't click. I think, I'll be honest with you, I think probably Drew's going to win it, and then maybe somebody else.
Oh, it's just so disappointing for
I know,
Ziggler.
I know
mean,
it is
how many title matches does he get beaten? He just seems to be like.
I think
He's
if you were counting it on
like,
hands and fingers, you have to be like all our hands and fingers, and then your hands and fingers too.
yeah,
Like,
he's like a main event enhancement talent.
yeah, that's true, because he's it's real
You know
thing. He's really good. I do like him, but yeah, he's a great talker, but he's absolutely just, he keeps
I don't know.
I'm just had a thought now, actually, because I'm just looking at the Bleacher Report article now, and it has like Wrestling Quick Tales, and I've got Shayna Baszler on there.
Oh yeah.
And I'm thinking, like, well, what if she interrupts in one of the matches?
Oh yeah, because she went on
She
Raw
went
this
on a
week
massive
and
like turn about like how was she? She could turn up like she could. She hasn't been branded to anybody particularly, has she? So she could turn up on the Raw match or the SmackDown match and just go hell for leather on.
Who's the thing is, who's Baszler got most heat with? Who she had the biggest feuding with? It's probably going to be Oscar. No, did she?
Yeah, no, because she beat him in NXT, didn't she?
Yeah.
So maybe Asuka. If we're going to do, if let's say now that she wins, they could go Baszler in the next match just for keep everything going or something.
Well, it could be Baszler can cost Oscar, and then basically you build up your Oscar Baszler feud.
Yeah, could do. I could take that.
Yeah.
Or
you could go Baszler, Cross, but I can't really see much money in that.
No, I can't see that either. You've got like three options. You've got the
I was also thinking maybe you might even see a Bliss heel turn on Cross, costing her the title opportunity.
That's true. But then is she, again, we come back to it, is she actually fit to wrestle? So we don't really, can she?
But she doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that she can't get involved, and they can build it up sort of later. Yeah. So when she is
do
fit.
it through backstage, backstage bits, and then on moments of bliss and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Let me just double check, because I want to just see no, not Alexa app. God, she's 28 years old. Good lord. Come on. The correct term I'm looking for now is Alexa Bliss. Is she
Injured. I haven't seen nothing recent.
No, I haven't either.
Is everything back from?
I think I've got some on Bleacher Report, but I don't know how far back.
2018.
Was it? Was it
2018 and 2019.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there's nothing. There's nothing.
So she probably is, just doesn't want to. Probably want to use her right rather than.
I don't know. Who knows? We're talking about WWE creative here.
Yeah, she probably will turn up and be like a side character, and then like on next across the side, and then cause something. Could happen.
Who knows?
Oh, okay. So that's Extreme Rules for tonight, and the time of the streaming is 6:43. So we can come back next week and go woohoo, or damn it, and scream for our heads and just critique WWE as always.
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, I'm trying to think of anything else. I can't really I can't really see anything else happening, is there?
No, not really.
No.
There's nothing of interest.
No.
Is AJ Styles competing? Do we know?
I don't know if he is. Did he lose yesterday? Oh, sorry, Friday.
To Riddle.
Yeah, AJ versus.
No, he beat Riddle. He beat Riddle with a roll up.
Oh, okay, so he beat him. So AJ still IC title then holder.
Yeah. God, what's it? I can't remember. Was there a run-in after the match? I can't remember.
I can't see now. Who would run in though?
I can't remember, to be honest with you. I kind of fast forwarded it. I wasn't interested.
I'll be honest with you, that's a match I'd like to keep going, sort of thing, because it's pretty. You know, that's a good feud. That's a money-making feud right there.
It was a decent match. I mean, it finished with Riddle going for a submission, and then AJ sort of turning it into a roll-up. And it was, yeah,
so it's not a very clean. It wasn't clean. It was kind of a rolled up. So that's, you could do something with that. Yeah, if they were playing the cards right. Oh, actually, how long are we talking for? I didn't realize. I haven't checked the time actually. I said 6 minutes, but it's probably longer than that. We started about what 5:30, so about an hour. Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, it's an hour and 5.
That's good. So yeah, I'll end up here. I just want to say thank you very much for taking the time.
I know, worries. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, I'll have to update the scorecard we had on screen now, because it's now 2-1. It's now 2-1 until next week. So yeah, if you guys are interested, I'll be doing a stream tomorrow over on Anime League stream. We're talking video games then, so yay. Hopefully I'll have a co-host by then. Then we've got Jackbox stream on Anime Leagues on Tuesday, which is myself, and then Wednesday I don't know, I'll have to figure out. Thursday we've taken a day off. Friday is my Half-Life 2, so if you want to watch that, you can. And then Saturday's my Jackbox stream, and then Sunday's back here. So that's my week for the whole week. So hopefully it'll be the same time.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all guys whenever, and hope you have a great week. Say bye.
See you soon, guys. Bye.
Yeah, bye.